Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the man, myth, the legend, Mr. Greg Dickerson. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, Michael. Good to see you.
So I read an interesting article where Warren Buffett was the featured, I don't know, presenter, topic, whatnot, and he talked about what the average American should be doing in a recession. And I think it's something you believe in, but if you disagree, please tell me. And that is basically you need to invest in yourself, right? One of the things that people need to do in a recession is gain new skills, do this, whatever that thing is for you, but invest in yourself. Don't gamble. Um, Recessions are a great time, right? He talks about, people swimming naked and opportunity and all of that. So I wanted to get your thoughts, right? We're heading into what I think is going to be a shallow recession, probably 11, 12 months in duration. Uh, what are your thoughts on investing in yourself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there is no better investment. Warren Buffett would say, or Mark Twain or Edison, I can't remember. Somebody said it return. Oh, Benjamin Franklin, an investment in yourself returns the highest dividends. Something like that.
Oh,
Benjamin
something.
Franklin's quote. So
I
it
will
goes
look
all
for
the
that
way
up.
all the way back to there. Warren Buffett obviously says, the best investment you can make is in yourself and knowledge, those types of things. So I mean, you can go back in the history of time, and I mean, it's all about what you know, who
Mhm.
you know, and who knows you. I mean, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, that's what it comes down to. So you have to invest in yourself. It's more than just your knowledge. It starts there, but then it's the relationships
Mhm.
and getting yourself and putting yourself out there and making connections and serving others. And so there's a lot of different ways you can invest, but it starts with knowledge. You got to know what you're doing first. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I would love to give the audience some examples of some investments that you and I have made in ourselves over the last decade. And I'll go first just as an example. I've often said when asked the most valuable college course I ever took, I have 6 years of college. I have an undergrad and an MBA, was actually something I took my first year of a junior college. Shout out De Anza College. And it was a public speaking course. Heading into that course, I was without question an introvert, right? I would just as easily be in a room full of people and not say one word. I'd be watching and observing, but very much in my shell. And that one public speaking course got me out of my shell, made me comfortable, you know, learning a topic, positioning, and that launched a career in sales. It is one of the reasons I'm comfortable here on YouTube. But yeah, public speaking is something that I think is a great investment. I think communication, being able to tell stories, is a wonderful skill. If you don't have, you know, Toastmasters or whatever you want to take, is highly recommended as an example. What do you think?
So sales is what the takeaway there is. So forget public speaking, sales. So the number one lesson I learned as a kid is sales. I was the little kid at 8, 9 years old knocking on your door. Hey, Michael, my name's Greg. I live down the street. I need to make some money. What do you need done? I'll cut your grass. I'll wash your car. I'll walk your dog. I'll watch your kids. Whatever.
What do you
I'll
need?
clean your
Yeah,
house. I don't care.
I
And
solve problems. Yep.
so, I was taught at a very young age, if you want something, figure out a way to earn the money to go get it. My dad, I'm not giving you money. You want this, you go figure out how to pay for it. So that was what I learned, knocking on doors. And then, I did telephone sales at one point when I
Hmm.
was, young for a job. So,
Yeah.
I pick up the phone and call people. And those two lessons right there have been the pinnacle foundation of my entire career. Those two
Mm.
things. Number one, not being afraid to knock on doors and go get what you want. Number one, ask for it. Number two, take it. Not
Mm.
illegally, obviously, but if
Right.
you want something, go get
But
it.
get it.
Take it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going
Yeah.
to hand it to you. Nobody's going to give it to you. Now, opportunities do come along, but you got to take it. You got to take action. You have to take advantage of the opportunities that come along when they're presented. And number two, not being afraid to pick the phone up and call people and connect with people and
Hmm.
make those connections. And early on in my career, like people would be just dumbfounded that you called that guy. I'm like, sure.
Why not?
I called him up. Hey, my name's Greg. Michael, my name's Greg Dickerson. And this is a script everybody can use, because the lost art of networking and effectively, it's a lost art. I'd pick the phone up. I'd say, hey, Michael, this is Greg Dickerson. Man, I really admire what you've done in your career. I mean, just unbelievable, phenomenal career. I want to be where you are. Would you mind spending a few minutes with me? Tell me how you got where you are. I'm a seeker of wisdom, man. How did you do what you did?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Hang up on me?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. No.
Yeah.
No,
So just, just that, or if I had a question or something I wanted to know and somebody had the answer, I'd call them up. Hey, this is Greg Dickerson. I'm trying to do what you've done and I'm kind of stuck here. Could you, tell me how I can get past this? Or you have any advice for me, as I'm embarking on this, what you
yeah.
never do and what I don't do? Hey, Michael, this is Greg. Can I pick your brain?
Yeah, can I take you to coffee? Yeah.
Yeah. And pick your brain because that's what always
Yeah.
follows it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
then, when
Hey,
you
hey,
do
Greg,
get
real quick,
somebody,
your microphone's scratching on your shirt a little bit.
yeah, yeah. When you
There you
do
go.
get somebody that, takes you up on that lunch or coffee, which is fine too,
Yeah.
make sure you pay the bill when you invite somebody
Yeah.
out.
It's shocking.
I've
Yeah.
had people invite me to lunch, over the day for advice or whatever, and they didn't pay the bill.
Yeah, that's not a good look. That's not a
Right.
good look.
So you think we ever did
Oh,
any business together? Or you think I, gave them any
no.
value in that meeting?
No, 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 no. Yeah. Another kind of
And
investment.
not because of a spite or whatever. It's because they're
No,
not serious.
no, they're not. Yeah, exactly.
They're not,
You,
they haven't
that's
educated themselves to understand how to conduct that type of a, engagement.
yeah. Another thing that I learned going early on, you kind of hit on it, but I want to go deeper here is, um, you can go fast alone, but you can go far with a network. And I learned this a lot in real estate, right? So again, I'm traveling all around the world doing my sales job. I'm trying to figure out buying rentals, one rental at a time. We get to 6, 7, 8 houses, and that was a heavy lift. But then, we start going to events, we network. I meet Bruce Norris. He kind of tells me about affordability index. We 1031, we grow, our environment explodes. So, one of the things that I really challenge people to do is certainly in the beginning, and I don't stop even today, but certainly in the beginning is grow your network. Try to meet 2 new people a week. And it's really easy. Just ask for referrals, right? Ask for introductions. Um, People don't realize, and how many times have I heard, I got the agent, Michael. I've got the agent. I got the agent in my market. I'm like, I got like 1,000 agents, right? It's not one. So yeah, and definitely keep growing your network. Never stop. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would take it, you want to meet somebody new every day,
Yeah.
or multiples, but you need to be making connections, meeting somebody new every day, going out to coffee, going out to lunch. The most important thing in life and business is relationships.
Yes.
It's all about relationships. And, one connection, one new idea can completely transform your entire life and business. Just
Agreed.
one meeting, one idea from that meeting, or one encounter or one book or, podcast or whatever. And I mean, in this day and age, it's so easy to meet new people, do a podcast, start interviewing
Yeah.
people, just
Yeah.
connect and meet, that type of thing, if you can't get out and see people one-on-one, but, the power of networking and connections and groups and relationships, I've experienced it over and over in my life, and I see people experience it over and over in their lives. And you just can't put a value on those things.
Yeah. And kind of the last one that I wanted to talk about, and I've only come to appreciate this as a superpower recently, but I do believe it's something people can learn if they focus on it, and that is the art of focus, right? So I have this concept of a buy box, which is basically I'm going to look at these things, and I'm going to know that thing better than anybody else in the market. I'm going to understand what an average deal is. Because I see a lot of people, certainly with real estate investing and probably entrepreneurship as well, is I want to go do that thing, and then they're just all over the place, right? There's no consistency, there's no compounding of knowledge, there's no, it's like smoke. It just goes everywhere, right? People would be so much farther along if they started with a focus in a defined area to begin with. What do you think?
Yeah, start with what you have where you are. The problem these days is there's so much information out there, and there's so many little, shiny objects and the
Yeah.
next thing and that kind of stuff. And, you and I've talked about it over and over and over on this podcast that, there's nothing new under the sun when it comes to real estate. It's real
Yeah.
estate, it is what it is and always has been. There's only new marketing ideas and ways to frame and package things to sell
Yep.
information, which,
Mm,
information's valuable. So there's nothing wrong with
sure.
that. But, you know, taking what is the assignment of a contract and calling it wholesaling and this and that. Well, wholesaling is, a retail, buying a property,
Mm,
putting it on the market and selling it retail, and just putting these different names behind it. to make them sound exciting. Reverse wholesaling. Okay, that's finding a buyer, and what do you want? I'll go find it and assign
Yep.
contracts to you. So yeah, I mean, the key is to pick something and just start. And just start. Just go buy a house, go buy a storage facility, go buy an apartment building, whatever. Just pick something that you understand in an area that you understand and start with one and then go
Yeah.
from there. That's what happens is people get so hung up on, well, should I do this? Should I do that? Do something
Yeah.
somewhere that you
Yeah.
understand, that
Yeah.
you've educated yourself on, that you understand intimately, and get started, and then go from there. My first real estate deal, I mean, I'd bought houses that I lived in, but as an investment vehicle, my first real estate deal was a lot flip. I didn't even know you
Oh, I
could do that,
remember.
like, as
Yeah,
a
I remember.
business. I had no idea. That's how I started.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any other kind of things that when you look back at your career, obviously sales being a big one, any other kind of just sample ideas of things people can invest in themselves?
Yeah, sales, again, I want to emphasize that
Yeah.
because it's not what people think. Sales is the most valuable skill in the world. Sales and communication, the ability to communicate, like you're talking about, public speaking, whatever, those are right there with sales. I mean, nothing happens without a sale, and you can do that anywhere from anywhere now with, virtual sales and things like that. That's huge. And then again, educating yourself. I mean, I didn't go to college. I don't have a formal education, but the most valuable lessons I've learned have come from the books I've read, the courses I've taken, the programs I've gone through, the connections and relationships I've made, and mentors I've had in my life, which have mostly been people that I had working for me, that I learned from. People that did what I wanted to do. When I built my first house, I didn't know how to build houses. I went and hired people that knew how to do that, been doing it for 20 years with the biggest company in the area, and I hired them and brought them in to help me build a building company. I learned from them. They mentored me. I learned from my architects, engineers, surveyors, my accountants, my tax attorneys, my estate attorneys, my business attorneys. I mean, these people all mentored me. And then I had, mentors that I was doing deals with and for, as a service and as a partner down the road. So, I mean, you can always learn from every single situation, everything that you watch or listen to. The minute you think you know it all, you're done.
Yeah. And I guess kind of wrapping this episode on, I believe this is true, but let me know if it's not. You even today, you're still investing in yourself. You're still growing, looking for new things, seeking. You're a seeker of wisdom, I think, is your quote. So that never stops, right? It's a lifelong process.
Exactly. And, the third most valuable thing I learned: sales, communication, relationships. Number three, you don't know what you don't know. And the
Oh,
more
yes.
I learn, the more I realize I don't know a thing. And you can always go deeper. I don't know squat. You put me in a room with Elon Musk, you put me in a room with, Michael Zuber, things that I have no clue. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I have no idea what I don't know.
Right.
And, there's two things that'll cost you the most in this world. One is you don't know what you don't know. When I first started out, I didn't know what I didn't know. I could have done a lot more, a lot faster. Number two is what you think you know to be true that's not. That
Yes.
those are
Oh,
the two
that's a
most,
powerful one. Yes.
and that's a
When you
Mark
are
Twain quote.
certain about and wrong, oh, ouch. Yeah, I
And
mean,
how
there's a
many
lot
of
of
us have
people.
been in that
Yeah.
situation, me included?
Me
I
included.
absolutely know that the sun rises in the west. I mean, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I
Yeah.
know it for a fact. Sun don't rise in the west.
No, no, it doesn't.
But I
Yeah.
would tell you 6 ways to Sunday that it's going to rise in the west, because you just,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, you're wrong and you
Yeah.
don't know it.
But you're just certain. Yeah.
Right.
There's some of my most painful lessons were exactly that. Things I was certain about and when you're certain, you're blind to any indication that you're off. And I think a lot of people are suffering that this year. They were certain about X.
Yeah.
It was going to the moon. And then they got rug pulled it's there's been a lot of pain. People were certain about a lot of things this year that were smoke and mirrors, and that's
Well,
unfortunate.
the one thing that's certain in this life is that there ain't none.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, folks, it's been a lot of fun. Greg, where can people find you?
Yeah. GregDickerson.com. That's where all my info lives. Go check it out.
Thank you, buddy.